White's faithful, are you ready for this roller coaster? What's up, Leeds family? The international break just ended, and oh my word, what a dramatic few days it's been for our beloved Whites. While you were probably enjoying your Sunday roast, 3 absolute bombs have been dropped that could completely reshape how we see this season unfolding. I'm talking about a defender who's just sent shockwaves through Elland Road with his international heroics, a 18 million star who's being watched like a hawk by his national team boss, and news that's going to make Daniel Farke absolutely furious when he finds out who's officiating our next crucial Premier League clash. White's faithful, if you're not already sitting down, you better grab a chair because what I'm about to tell you will either have you jumping for joy or pulling your hair out in frustration. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe because you do not want to miss any of these developments that could define our entire campaign. But first, let me tell you about a Slovenian warrior who's just put one of our regular starters on high alert. Bijol just sent Pascal Struijk a warning. Remember that £15 million marquee signing Bijol, who's been sitting on the bench watching Pascal Struijk start week after week? Well, White's faithful, the Slovenian just delivered a masterclass performance that should have Farke's phone buzzing with excitement. During Slovenia's crucial World Cup qualifiers, Bijol was absolutely sensational. In their 0-0 draws against Kosovo and Switzerland, this man was a defensive wall that even the Swiss couldn't break down. We're talking about 10 defensive actions in one match, 4 interceptions, 2 tackles, 2 blocks. He was everywhere. Fotmob rated him as Slovenia's best outfield player with a 7.2 rating, second only to Jan Oblak in goal. But here's what should worry Struijk, and frankly, it should. The Dutch defender has been struggling with his dual success rate, winning fewer aerial battles than even our attacking players like Brendan Aronson and Noah Okafor. Meanwhile, Bijol is out there proving why he was called a marquee signing when we splashed the cash on him. The man completed 28 out of 33 passes with 85% accuracy, won 2 duels against top-level opposition, and committed just 2 fouls in 90 minutes of intense action. These aren't just impressive numbers, they're the kind of statistics that separate good defenders from great ones. Slovenia kept 2 consecutive clean sheets with Bijol marshalling that defense like he owns it. What makes this even more significant is the timing. With Leeds currently struggling defensively in the Premier League, Farke desperately needs defenders who can step up and take command. The pressure is mounting, and if Struijk doesn't step up his game soon, don't be surprised if you see a certain Slovenian getting his chance against Burnley. Because, let me tell you what happened with our next star will blow your mind. Switzerland boss drops bombshell about Noah Okafor. Speaking of international drama, our £80 million summer signing Noah Okafor has been the centre of a fascinating controversy that's got the football world talking. While Bijol was starring for Slovenia, Okafor was conspicuously absent from Switzerland's squad, and the reasons behind his omission are absolutely explosive. Reports emerged claiming Switzerland manager Murat Yakin had allowed past differences to influence his decision, with stories of bad moods and poor training performances being thrown around like confetti. The drama gets juicier. White's faithful. Okafor apparently went over Yakin's head to complain directly to Switzerland's technical director, Pierluigi Tami, after getting 0 minutes at Euro 2024. You can imagine how well that diplomatic maneuver went down with the national team boss. But here's the absolute game-changing twist. After Switzerland's disappointing 0-0 draw with Bijol's Slovenia, when the pressure was mounting, Yakin was directly asked about Okafor. His response? He's in the flow. We will certainly keep an eye on him. This is massive for us, White's faithful. Despite all the controversy and apparent bad blood, Yakin is publicly admitting he's actively monitoring our Swiss stars' performances. This isn't just diplomatic speak, this is a national team manager acknowledging that a player he's previously frozen out is forcing his way back into consideration. The timing couldn't be more perfect either. Okafor has already bagged 2 crucial goals for us this season, showing exactly the kind of clinical finishing that makes the difference. Despite criticism from some quarters, including John Newsom, who said Leeds can't afford passengers, the fact remains that our £18 million Swiss international is producing when it matters. What makes this situation even more intriguing is that no other Swiss attacker had scored more than 1 goal in Europe's top 5 leagues going into this international break. Yet somehow, the player who's already proven his Premier League credentials was left watching from home. Okafor has earned 24 caps for Switzerland and scored 2 international goals, but in recent months, he's only featured twice. The political dynamics are complex, but talent eventually forces its way through. And Yakin's latest comments suggest the walls are crumbling, but wait until you hear what's got Farke absolutely steaming about our upcoming fixture. Daniel Farke will be absolutely raging about this referee news. White's faithful, if you thought the Bijol and Okafor situations were dramatic, wait until you hear about the officiating controversy that's about to unfold. The Premier League has just announced that Tim Robinson will be the man in the middle for our crucial clash against Burnley at Turf Moor, and let me tell you, Farke is not going to be happy about this. This isn't just any referee appointment that we can shrug off. This is the same Tim Robinson who has a documented history of controversial decisions against Leeds United that still haunt our dreams and probably give supporters nightmares about what could have been. Let's take a trip down memory lane that nobody wants to revisit. Remember that crucial championship clash against Sunderland when we desperately needed 3 points for automatic promotion? Robinson was there when Luke O'Neill blatantly cleared a corner with his arm after battling Joe Rodon, and somehow, nothing was given. This was the same match where Dan Ballard had earlier blocked a shot with his elbow in another clear penalty incident. The consequences were devastating. Farke was left fuming, expecting more apology letters from the EFL that would arrive too late to change anything. We stumbled through the rest of that season, ended up in the playoffs, and suffered that soul-crushing defeat to Southampton in the final at Wembley. But the Robinson horror story doesn't end there. Before Farke was even at Elland Road, this referee was making questionable calls against us. Cast your minds back to that heartbreaking 2-1 defeat to Fulham at Craven Cottage in 2019 under Marcelo Bielsa. Robinson somehow awarded Fulham a penalty when Ben White was adjudged to have pushed Bobby de Cordova-Reid with contact so minimal it needed forensic analysis to justify. Now we find ourselves back in the Premier League, currently sitting in 15th place and needing every point we can get. Our defensive statistics are already concerning, conceding 1.57 goals per game, and the last thing we need is controversial refereeing adding to our problems. Robinson's track record this season shows he's brandished 4 yellow cards in just 3 games, averaging nearly 5 bookings per match. The man appears trigger-happy with his disciplinary actions, which could be problematic for a White side that needs to play with intensity. What makes this appointment even more frustrating is the timing. We're heading into a massive fixture against fellow Premier League newcomers Burnley, both teams desperate for points. These are exactly the kind of high-stakes matches where controversial refereeing decisions can alter the course of a season. White's faithful, this appointment feels like the football gods testing our character once again. Can we overcome past grievances and questionable officiating to get the result we need? With Bijol pushing for his chance, Okafor being watched by Switzerland, and Robinson with the whistle, this weekend is shaping up to be absolutely massive for our season. What do you think? Is this the weekend everything changes at Leeds United? Drop your predictions in the comments below and let's see if the Whites can rise above all this drama. Come on, Leeds.